My name is Nils with Learn to DIY, and in this video I'll be showing you how to swap out your HVAC furnace air filter quickly and easily. Now the first thing we need to do is to make sure to turn off our unit. Most modern units have a switch like this, and all you have to do is flip that off and you're good to go. You want to make sure to do that before you change out the filter so you don't get any loose debris or anything from the filter shaking out and going into the system. Now if you don't have a switch like this, you can also use your thermostat and set it to off mode or automatic, and then if that fails for any reason, you can also just flip the circuit breaker on your unit. Now with the HVAC system turned off, we're now ready to locate the filter itself. If you know right where that is, then you're in good shape. If you're not sure, it's pretty much always going to be in between this big return plenum here and your blower or your main unit here. And in some rare cases, it might actually be behind one of the air returns in your home, like you see in this picture here. In some cases, you actually unlatch the return and the filter is right there behind it. Once we've determined the location of our filter, next we need to figure out which way to put it in. Now if we pull this guy out, now this is one of these really cheap ones, and we'll talk about which one to choose in just a moment, but in here we have this little airflow arrow here, and you need to really make sure that you get this in the right direction. Now the right direction is pretty much always just pointing towards the furnace itself, the blower. So that your air is coming in this way, it's coming through the filter and then going into the furnace here. And so that's what you need to make sure the arrow is pointing toward. And another way you can see on the actual filter itself is they'll all have some sort of netting like this on the back side. This should also be facing your furnace, like so. And that's to help prevent it from being sucked in or collapsing in case this gets really full of debris and basically just clogged. Now a really quick tip on this to save yourself from having to even think about this in the future, you can take a Sharpie and just on your air return, your plenum here, you can just put an arrow indicating that the arrow needs to go that direction, and you can just line up your filters with that from then on. Often to replace these, you'll notice most of them say that these provide up to 90-day airflow performance. And the key phrase in there is up to. A lot of these are actually meant to be replaced sooner than that. And really you just want to check on them from time to time, and you'll kind of get into a rhythm of seeing how often you should be replacing those in your house. It depends on things like pets that you have, how often this thing is running, whether it's air conditioning or heating, as well as the surrounding environment, like if there's new construction or different things like that. Now a couple of tips on that. These less expensive ones that are more on the rating of, let's say 4 like this, they won't typically last 90 days. A lot of them are really just meant, especially these ones that are just the fiberglass, they're really meant for 30 days or up to 30 days of use. So get in the habit of changing them on the first of the month, and in some cases you might need to do it even more than that. Now if you find yourself in a situation where in the winter your house just won't heat up enough, it feels like there's just not enough hot air to keep up, or in the summer it won't cool down enough, oftentimes that's because there's just not enough airflow coming through these filters. So in those cases, it's sometimes helpful to use one of these less expensive fiberglass filters, which lets a lot of the air flow through, and that will help provide enough air for your unit to do its job properly. And you might want to go back to whatever kind of mid-grade one that you were using prior after that, but it will help you get through those tough situations when it's just really hot out or really cold out. It's imperative that you have the right size for your filter, because if it's too small, then it will let air go around it which is unfiltered, which can let debris into your system.